Good morning, everyone. Trustee Lucky and Trustee Parker will be joining us virtually this morning. I call order this February meeting of the Board of Trustees. Please remember to use the microphones because we do have people joining us virtually this morning. Trustee Morgan, will you provide the invocation this morning?
What happened to the associate commissioner? You used to use him.
Well, I'm glad to know we can do that, so I'll call on somebody.
You can run, but you can't hide. Getting a little warm in here.
Dear Heavenly Father, we gather before you today with hearts filled with gratitude for the privilege and responsibility of leading the best institutions in the nation. We thank you for the opportunities and challenges that shape our journey. And Lord, we seek your wisdom and guidance in our decisions. Lord, bless our esteemed board members with discernment as they navigate the path of governance. Grant them insight to make decisions that align with the values and mission of our universities, always with the betterment of our students, faculty, and staff in mind. We humbly ask for your grace and provision as we strive for academic excellence, innovation, and inclusivity. May our endeavors be a source of inspiration and empowerment for all who walk the halls of each of our institutions. And Lord, we acknowledge the diverse needs of our communities. Let compassion guide our actions, and may the bonds we form with one another be a testament to the unity we can achieve through understanding and respect. Bless our students, leaders, faculty, and administrators with wisdom, perseverance, and a passion for learning, and may they be equipped to make a positive impact on our world. And Lord, we pray for the victims and families of those harmed during the Super Bowl parade in Kansas City. Be with them and give them an assurance that you are the master of this storm, and you are able to bring them peace that surpasses all understanding. And as we face challenges, Lord, remind us that with you, all things are possible. Grant us resilience in times of adversity and humility in times of triumph. And in this sacred moment, we commit our university system into your hands. May your divine light guide us, your wisdom direct us, and your love unite us. And in your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Trustee Morgan and President Thompson. I'd like to welcome our Student Government Association presidents out in force today. Please stand up and give and close to the mic. Yeah.
Does it work? Oh yeah, it works.
Give your name and the name of your university.
My name is Jonathan Jenkins, and I'm the student government president at the University of Southern Mississippi.
Good morning, everyone. I am Jordan Book, SGA President, Alcorn State University.
Good morning. I am Jemiah Peoples, SGA Vice President from Mississippi Valley State University.
Hi, my name is Haley Rooks, and I'm the Student Government President, Delta State University.
Howdy, everyone. My name is Mason Greenwald. I'm Student Body Vice President at the University of Mississippi.
Thank you all for joining us today.
Before we begin, I would like to thank Jordan for coming and speaking to us at our listening session. We appreciate all the comments from students then. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning again, and welcome to the Board of Trustees. 2024 Diversity and Inclusion Award Ceremony. As you know, this is held in observance of Black History Month to celebrate the efforts of our universities, which they devote towards ensuring our campuses are places that's welcoming our students and also places of inclusion. So, and that's for all. So at this time, we're gonna turn this podium over to trustee Cunningham, who is the co-chairman of the IHL Trustee Diversity Committee.
Thank you, Dr. McNair. Good morning, fellow IEOs and guests and trustees and IEOs and guests and students and faculty. It is an honor to serve as the co-chair of the Diversity Committee and to participate in this annual observance as we celebrate the achievements and accomplishments of our university faculty and staff. Each year, we invite our universities to nominate one individual who has contributed significantly to positive advancement of diversity on his or her campus in the community and in the community. Today, we recognize all the individuals who have been chosen by their respective institutions and name one as a Diversity Educator of the Year. In addition to our university honorees, it is our pleasure to present the Karen Cummins Community Service Award as well to a leader who has greatly impacted our state and its citizens. Karen Cummins, for those who don't know, was a trustee whose light was dimmed far too soon, but we honor her memory each year with this award because she embodied the ideals of diversity, inclusion, and used them as guideposts in her decisions and interactions. Before we introduce the nominees, I would like to thank the IHL Board's Diversity Committee for their time and effort working with me in this endeavor. Trustee Ormella Cummings and Trustee Jeannie Lucky, who's joining us by phone. I'd also like to acknowledge the chief diversity officers from the institutions. They all work very hard to ensure that our campuses are welcoming to all students, and several of them are joining us today. I'd ask for them to please stand for recognition. Any of our diversity officers who are present, thank you. I'd like to take a pause here to also offer kudos to our 8 IEOs. In this current environment of nationwide orchestrated assaults against DEI programs by organizations such as the Claremont Institute and others like it, you guys continue to foster representative communities on your campuses. And I just want to thank you for your courage and your leadership in that endeavor. So thank you so much, guys. Those thoughts are mine and mine alone, and I approve that message, and we will get on to the regularly scheduled programming. So at this time, I will introduce our university nominees and present them with a plaque which reads as such. In recognition of Black History Month, Diversity Award of Excellence for serving as a role model and strong advocate for the advancement of diversity at their respective universities. As you are being introduced, I would ask that the nominees please come forward to receive your plaque. Photos of all nominees and award recipients, along with their university president, will be taken at the end of the ceremony, a little different than we've done it in the past. Henry will begin our presentations. Okay. So we'll begin with Alcorn State University. We're pleased to recognize Dr. Babu George, MBA Director and Professor of Business Administration. From Delta State University, we're pleased to recognize C.T. Salazar, Reference Instructional Services Librarian and Assistant Professor. Accepting on Mr. Salazar's behalf is Dr. Daniel Ennis, President of Delta State University. From Jackson State University, we're pleased to recognize Dr. Ebony Lumumba, Associate Professor of English and Chair of the Department of English, Foreign Languages, and Speech Communications. From Mississippi State University, we're pleased to recognize Dr. Jordan Linton Cox, Assistant Professor of Cultural Anthropology. Accepting on Dr. Cox's behalf is Rashida Forbes, Vice President of Access, Diversity, and Inclusion. Also, from Mississippi State University Division of Agriculture, Forestry, and Veterinary Medicine, we are pleased to recognize Dr. Shakoya White, Assistant Professor for the Department of Food Science, Nutrition, and Health Promotion. From Mississippi University for Women, we are pleased to recognize Dr. Davida Crosley, Associate Professor of Microbiology. From Mississippi Valley State University, we're pleased to recognize Dr. Roshan A. Bailey, Assistant Vice President for Student Affairs and Campus Life. From the University of Mississippi, we're pleased to recognize Dr. Rebecca E. Samula, Instructional Associate Professor of Biology. And from the University of Southern Mississippi, we're pleased to recognize Dr. Jennifer L. Lomax, Professor and Associate Dean for Research in the College of Nursing and Health Professions. And if we would, once again, just please join me in a round of applause for all of our winners. We applaud each of you and thank you for coming today. Please stay until the end of our program and we will take photos of all honorees and their respective presidents in front of the backdrop provided to my left. At this time, it is my pleasure to announce the individual chosen by the IHL Board of Trustees' Diversity Committee as the 2024 Diversity Educator of the Year. Would you please join me in recognizing Dr. Carolyn E. Compretta, Assistant Vice Chancellor for Research and Associate Professor in the Department of Preventive Medicine at the University of Mississippi Medical Center. Joining her as the Vice Chancellor of UMMC, Dr. Luann Woodward. Dr. Compretta oversees the research mission of the institution and actively contributes to critical committees that represent UMMC's relationships with healthcare entities, researchers, educators, and students. In each of these capacities, Dr. Compretta champions the principles of diversity, inclusivity, and health equity. In 2023, Dr. Compretta published research on the adaptation of a bidirectional crisis and emergency risk communication framework by community-engaged research partnerships in rural Mississippi. Her expertise in community engagement and dedication to serving underrepresented populations are evident in her extensive research portfolio, which includes multiple NIH grants addressing population health disparities in health behaviors and nutrition, particularly in underserved populations. She currently has 3 ongoing NIH grants that address obesity health disparities, community engagement, and translational research. In acknowledgement of her excellence in research and commitment to diversity, Dr. Compretta has earned multiple accolades, including several from the University of Mississippi Medical Center, such as the Platinum Level Excellence in Research Award, induction into the L.C. Dorsey Research Honor Society, and the Rising Star Award from the Group on Women in Medicine and Science, as well as the Beacon Award from the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I am pleased to present you with this resolution and this plaque, which reads, in recognition of Black History Month, IHL Excellence in Diversity and Inclusion Awards, Educator of the Year, presented to Dr. Carolyn E. Compretta, Assistant Vice Chancellor and Associate Professor, University of Mississippi Medical Center, for exceptional vision and tireless devotion in advancing diversity within the university campus, community, and promoting global awareness and cross-cultural understanding, February 15th, 2024. The Mississippi Board of Trustees of State Institutions of Higher Learning. Dr. Compretta, you're invited to make any remarks you feel that you'd like to. And Dr. Woodward, you're also welcome to offer your own remarks as well.
Thank you, Dr. Cunningham. I want to add just a little bit to some of the comments that Dr. Cunningham made. So Dr. Compretta joined us about 10 years ago at the medical center. Her background is in medical anthropology. As you heard, she is a faculty member in the Department of Preventive Medicine. She also has secondary appointments in pediatrics, in population health sciences, and in the Department for Advanced Medical Education. She's a core faculty member in our Center for Bioethics and Medical Humanities. She was appointed last year as our Assistant Vice Chancellor for Research. She and our Associate Vice Chancellor for Research, Dr. Lee Bidwell, who's here with us today, lead our entire research mission. She is an accomplished academician. In addition to some of the awards that Dr. Cunningham mentioned, she has been inducted into the Academy of Excellence in Education at the Medical Center. She mentors learners all across the spectrum, from the very young, high school and even younger, to the very, I'm not going to say old, advanced, even professors in many of our institutions. She has been recognized in multiple venues for her excellence in research, and her 20-year span of research really has a great breadth and depth to it. But the focus has been around health disparities, health equity, and community engagement. So her work is really focused on not just identifying health disparities, which we all recognize and know are very prevalent, especially in our part of the world, but also developing action to address these. Some of the highlights of her research, as Dr. Cunningham mentioned, she is currently a co-investigator or a director on 3 NIH grants. Those of you that are in the research and funding world know that those are extremely competitive and very, very hard to get. She has been recognized nationally for her expertise in her field and serves on several of the NIH national committees that are around community engagement and that piece, that kind of research. Her work touches many programs that you all are familiar with. Our telehealth program, our obesity work, our collaboration with the Mayo Clinic, our work to build a nationally recognized and designated cancer program, and our work that is in the most rural and underserved parts of our state. The impact of her efforts really has an arc that ranges from her high-level work at these national committees, which are very competitive and very prestigious, to improving the life and the health of single individuals right here in the most underserved parts of our own state, and everything that is in between. So I am delighted to offer my congratulations to Dr. Caroline Compretta, and thankful of the good work that she is doing for us at the medical center that benefits not only our medical center community, but the state of Mississippi and outside of our state as well. So congratulations, Dr. Compretta.
I have to pull this down a little bit. I'm not quite as tall as these other speakers. Thank you so much, Dr. Woodward. Thank you, Dr. Cunningham, to all the IHL Board of Trustees, and to all the other guests and nominees that are here today with us. As I stand here with you, I'm thinking back about when I graduated from college. And I'll tell you that when I entered the real world, I did not yet know what I wanted to do or who I wanted to be. I certainly didn't say to myself, Caroline, someday you'll be standing in a room full of distinguished men and women receiving the Diversity Educator of the Year award. After college, much to the surprise of my parents and perhaps to their chagrin, I took a job with a local nonprofit that provided an after-school program and summer camp for underserved children. That was one of many services that they offered. It was here that I met an 8-year-old boy named Fred, who changed my life in many ways. Fred was and still is wise and tough. He was the third or is the third of 10 children. He was curious about the world and yearned to learn, devouring information as fiercely as he protected his younger brothers and sisters. Fred was one of many children in the programs that I directed, but I'd like to focus on him to illustrate how I approach diversity. Since that first meeting more than 20 years ago, Fred and I have remained close, celebrating graduations, tackling life's challenges, and working to give back to the community in which he grew up. And I'm proud to say today, Fred works as a computer engineer, a degree that he got at Jackson State University, and an entrepreneur with a highly successful career. But I'm not surprised. His gifts and desires to succeed were evident from the start, leading him to work with organizations such as American Airlines, Verizon, and JP Morgan Chase. He's won awards from Apple, from Google, from Y Combinator, and many others. And next month, he'll begin an even more fulfilling chapter in his life when he gets married. And I'm happy to say that I'll be able to celebrate with him, and we're excited about that step. Looking at us, many might see only two people who are different in so many ways: in age, in race, in gender, in socioeconomic status. But look closer, and you would discover that the bridges we've built to span so many of life's divisions. It is those same bridges that can bring us all closer together. You see, for me, diversity at its very foundation is about compassion and relationships. It's about putting yourself in other people's shoes. For me, diversity and inclusion are not simply words that we use to check boxes as we go about our everyday lives. Rather, they're opportunities to create greater understanding. They are tools to forge new paths, leading us to honest discussions. They are sparks that can ignite trust between neighbors and colleagues and even strangers. It is through this lens of compassion and relationship building that I approach my professional life as well, and have worked to improve health outcomes across the state through research and education. I have worked not just to identify health disparities, but to address them so Mississippians can lead more productive, healthy, and meaningful lives. By building these personal and professional relationships, we allow ourselves to learn from one another, whether it's around a dinner table or a conference table, whether it's on a phone call or a Zoom call, or through text messages sent in times of joy and sadness. It is in these moments that diversity is materialized and actualized and cloaks us in all that is good in our society. While I am not naive about the challenges we face, I do believe that we need to face them together. As one of my favorite authors wrote, James Baldwin said, "Not everything that can be faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed unless it's faced." And I would simply add to his quote, "Nothing can be changed unless it's faced together." Thank you so much for your time and for this great honor.
Congratulations again, Dr. Compretta, and thank you, Dr. Woodward. At this time, we will recognize the Karen Cummins Community Service Award honoree. This year, we are proud to present this award to the Honorable Benny G. Thompson, representative of the 2nd District of Mississippi in the United States Congress. Congressman Thompson claimed his seat in the House on April 20th, 1993. He is a native of Bolton, Mississippi, and considers it an honor to walk the path of Mississippi civil rights icons paved decades ago. Serving his 15th term in the United States House of Representatives, Congressman Thompson has spent his entire career fighting to improve the lives of all people. He is the longest-serving African-American elected official in the state of Mississippi and began his grassroots political activism through the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee while a student at Tougaloo College. Let me get that right. He organized voter registration drives for African Americans throughout the Mississippi Delta on behalf of the organization before graduating and following in the footsteps of his mother by becoming a school teacher. From 1969 to 1972, Thompson served as alderman in his hometown before serving as the city's mayor from 1973 to 1980. During his time as mayor, Thompson was a founding member of the Mississippi Association of Black Mayors, where he instituted policies and provided services benefiting Bolton's underserved. Most recently, Congressman Thompson received the Chairman's Award during the 2023 NAACP Image Awards ceremony. The honor recognizes Thompson's advocacy for civil rights. Congressman Thompson is unable to be here with us. I think they're convening Congress today for recess, but he's not here to accept this honor. And on his behalf, Commissioner Alfred Rankins Jr. Will accept the award. Commissioner, it's my pleasure to present you with a resolution and plaque in recognition of Congressman Thompson's work. The plaque reads, in recognition of Black History Month, the Karen Cummins Community Service Award, presented to Congressman Benny G. Thompson, 2nd District, Mississippi, for outstanding foresight, tireless efforts, and steadfast dedication to advancing diversity, promoting inclusion, and fostering cross-cultural understanding in the community, across the state of Mississippi and beyond. February 15th, 2024, the Mississippi Board of Trustees of State Institutions of Higher Learning. Please join me in recognizing our esteemed community honoree, Congressman Benny Thompson. And Commissioner, you can make any remarks you deem necessary.
I'll be brief. I'll only take about 15 or 20 minutes. Obviously, Congressman Thompson could not be here today, and I tried to think if he were here, what would he say? He would thank the board and tell the board it is an honor to receive this award. He would let everyone know that he has more IHL institutions in his district than any other district in the state of Mississippi. And he would probably tell you that he is an unapologetic supporter of education at all levels. We thank Congressman Thompson for his work, for his dedication, and I accept this award on his behalf. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. This concludes our Diversity and Inclusion Award ceremony. Honorees and presidents, please line up by the backdrop to my left for photos. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Dr. Cunningham and Trustee Cummins. Trustees, let's take a 10-minute break while they're doing the photographs. Call the meeting to order. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes? Is that motion approved? Is that a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Trustee Luckett? Trustee Lucky?
Aye.
Trustee Parker? Trustee Parker is traveling, may not be able to respond. Ayes have it. Next is the consent agenda. Are there any items that need to be removed to the regular agenda?
Good morning. I request that item number 5 on the finance agenda, which is a lease agreement between Jackson State University and the Hilton in Jackson, be moved to the regular agenda.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Second? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Trustee Luckett?
Aye.
Trustee Parker? Ayes have it. We move to the finance committee. Trustee Duff, will you present the finance agenda?
Thank you, fellow trustees. There are 4 items on the regular agenda, including 2 bond resolutions and 3 contracts. Item number 5 has been also moved, as you can tell, from the consent agenda. John, at this time, would you please discuss the specifics of these items? I think we can take item 1 and 2 as a group, maybe take item number 5 as our 4th item then. And we also, I think, can add it with item number 3.
Yes, sir.
So let's take up, we will take up the Memorial Hospital at Gulfport last.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Item number 1 is a request from the University of Mississippi for approval of a bond resolution to finance the construction of a new residential facility, a new softball stadium, and renovation of athletic facilities and academic buildings for a par value of $245 million over a 30-year term. Board policy requires that a financial advisor's report be provided to the board to determine whether the proposed revenue streams are adequate to service the debt. This was provided to the board in January 2024. The financial advisors, Hilltop Securities, bond counsel is Butler Snow. The senior underwriters are Raymond James and Associate. The bond issue documents contain redemption provisions which may be used in the case of market changes. Item number 2 is a request from the University of Southern Mississippi for approval of a bond resolution to finance the renovation of Reed Green Coliseum for a par value of $35 million over a 30-year term. Board policy requires a financial advisor's report be provided, which was done in November 2023. The financial advisor is Hilltop Securities, bond counsel is Butler Snow, and the senior underwriters are Raymond James and Associates and Wells Fargo Bank. These documents also contain provisions which may be used in case of market changes. These items have been reviewed by legal counsel and found to be acceptable with applicable law. Board staff recommends approval of items number 1 and 2.
Thank you, John. Last month, we went through these things. So I think we've all reviewed and talked about. Our interest rates have actually gone down 50 basis points since last month. So it's a little bit less in interest rate also. You've heard the recommendations from the board staff. This time I make a motion to approve items number 1 and item number 2.
Second? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Trustee Luckett?
Aye.
Trustee Parker? Ayes have it. Moving to item number 3, Trustee Ogilvy is recusing himself before further discussion. Thank you, sir.
Item number 3 is a request from the University of Mississippi to amend a custodial service agreement for services provided to student housing with Sodexo Operations LLC.
Sodexo has provided custodial services since 2014. The purpose of the amendment is to extend the term for an additional 5 years through February 2029. The cost of the extension is $19 million over a 5-year period. The agreement will be funded with student housing revenues and may be terminated with 60 days' notice. Sodexo was selected by an RFP process in 2014. And then at this time, I believe we'll take item number 5 that was on the consent agenda that was moved to the regular agenda.
Yeah, I'll make a comment there. Trustee Ogilvy also is recusing him from that, vote. Okay?
Item number 4 was previous on the consent agenda as item number 5. This is a lease agreement between Jackson State University and Hilton Jackson to lease up to 77 beds for the period beginning February 18, 2024 through March 5th, 2024. The university will have exclusive use of floors 2 through 5 during this period to house residential students. The cost of the agreement is $645,000. JSU received quotes from several hotels in the Jackson area. The Hilton Jackson provided the best quote with accommodations required for the university's use. Hilton Jackson will provide meals, and the university will provide shuttle transportation to the university campus. The agreement may be terminated by reduction of funds. Legal staff has reviewed these items for compliance with applicable law and finds them to be acceptable, and board staff recommends approval of items 3 and 4.
Thank you. You've heard the recommendations from the board staff. I make a motion at this time to approve item number 3 and item number 4.
Second.
Second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Trustee Lucky,
Aye.
trustee Parker.
Aye.
Oh, great. Aye. Motion carries. On item number 4, let the record show that I'm recusing myself, and trustee Morton will take the seat.
Thank you. Dr. Pierce, would you proceed, please?
Thank you. Item number 5 was previously item number 4 on the regular agenda. This is a request from the University of Mississippi Medical Center to amend a request from the University of Mississippi Medical Center to amend a medical office building lease with Memorial Hospital at Gulfport. UMMC entered into an agreement with Memorial Hospital in March 2018 to operate a pediatric clinic. The purpose of the amendment is to extend the agreement for an additional year to end on February 28, 2025. The cost of the extension will add another $148,000 to the agreement for a total cost of $1 million. Legal staff has reviewed this item for compliance with the applicable law and finds it to be acceptable, and board staff recommends approval of item number 5.
Thank you, John. You've heard the recommendations from the board staff. At this time, I make a motion to approve item number 5.
Second.
Good. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Trustee Parker.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you, trustee Duff.
Trustee Martin, at this time, we conclude the finance agenda.
Oh, no, it didn't. Jeannie?
Aye.
Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you, trustee Duff and trustee Morton. I'm gonna back up a little bit. We go back to academic affairs. Dr. Melissa Temple, who is our nursing educator, will give a presentation on item number 1. Yeah.
Good morning. Thank you. In accordance with Mississippi Code, approval is requested for Stage 2 application, qualify for initial accreditation of a professional nursing program, permission to admit students from Mississippi State University, Meridian. Attending the meeting today representing the university are Dr. Mark Keenum, Mississippi State University President, Dr. David Shaw, MSU Provost and Executive Vice President, and Dr. Mary Stewart, MSU Meridian Dean and Professor of Nursing. Mississippi State University Meridian completed the first stage in the process of establishing a registered nursing program, which was approved by the board on February 16, 2023, for a new entry-level second degree Master of Science nursing program. Approval of Stage 1, permission to plan a new program, allowed the university to begin the process for Stage 2. Mississippi State University Meridian has completed this second stage in the process and submitted a completed application and supporting evidence to qualify the program for initial accreditation and allow for the admission of students. The second stage includes hiring a qualified nursing education program director, qualified nursing faculty and staff, and developing the philosophy, mission, goals, expected program outcomes, curriculum, approved budget, organizational chart, admission, promotion, and graduation policies, a systematic plan of evaluation, adequate support services, approved clinical affiliation agreements, and fiscal, physical, and technological and learning resources. Mississippi State University Meridian submitted a progress report on September the 29th, 2023, and an application with self-study report and supporting documents on December the 8th, 2023, that provided evidence of meeting the requirements for Stage 2. A state site visit team composed of representatives from the Accreditation Review and Evaluation Committee of the Mississippi Council of Deans and Directors of Schools of Nursing and Director of Nursing Education made a site visit on January the 19th, 2024 to validate the application for initial accreditation and all materials pertaining to the proposed nursing program. It was determined that the criteria for Stage 2 have been satisfactorily met. A recommendation of Stage 2 allows the school to admit students and progress to the last stage, Stage 3, which is qualify for full accreditation. Stage 3 requires an additional site visit be conducted with board staff in conjunction with the initial National Nursing Accreditation state site visit, which will take place November the 20th through 22nd, 2024. Board staff recommends approval pending proper notification and required approval from the U.S. DOE and SACS COC.
Second.
Aye.
Trustee Luckett. Trustee Parker.
Yes.
Thank you.
Just fast.
Mississippi State University is requesting the creation of the Bachelor of Applied Science and Healthcare Administration degree program. This program is specifically for students holding health-related Associate of Applied Science degrees to work as managers in clinical settings. The AAS degree is a 2-year career technical education degree program offered at the community colleges. The BAS degree allows students with a once-terminal 2-year degree to earn a bachelor's degree for the purpose of advancing in their careers. Mississippi State's BAS and Healthcare Administration program will be housed on the MSU Riley campus in Meridian. Alcorn State University has the Bachelor of Science and Applied Science with a concentration in technology management and an emphasis area in medical, healthcare management, and administration. However, it is currently suspended. Mississippi University for Women has the Bachelor of Applied Science in Business Administration with a concentration in healthcare management. The Bureau of Labor Statistics projects the creation of 136,200 new jobs for medical and health services managers, which is a 28% increase between 2021 and 2031. In Mississippi, the projected increase is 17.9% with 330 new positions created annually. The average annual salary for healthcare administrators in Mississippi is $94,270. The University of Mississippi is requesting the creation of the Bachelor of Science in Fitness and Nutrition. This will be a fully online program. Graduates from this program will be able to enter directly into the field and work in community or corporate settings to provide an all-inclusive approach to health for the public. The quality of graduates from this program will be assured through the inclusion of a capstone experience in an exercise specialist certification preparation course. Students will be prepared to complete professional certifications from three major organizations in the respective field: American College of Sports Medicine, National Strength and Conditioning Association, and American Council on Exercise. There are no institutions in the state offering similar programs. USM's BS in Fitness and Nutrition will lead to a variety of job opportunities, including exercise physiologist, personal trainer, group fitness trainer, corporate wellness manager trainer, community wellness coordinator, sports science research trainer, and continued studies to earn a PhD. The average annual salary ranges from $40,000 to $101,000, depending on the career path that the student chooses. Board staff recommends approval pending proper notification and any required approval from USD and SAC COC.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Trustee Lucky? Trustee Parker?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Jackson State University is requesting the creation of the Center for Community Resilience and Disaster Preparedness. The purpose of this center will be to equip Mississippi and our neighboring underserved communities with contemporary skills for better preparedness for natural disasters and man-made disasters occurring after natural disasters, such as auto accidents and looting, to minimize loss of life and property, thus building resilient communities. The anticipated annual cost is $199,000 to $230,000, and funding will be provided by the United States Department of Homeland Security. Mississippi State University is requesting the creation of the Center for Rural Veterinary Practice to be housed in the College of Veterinary Medicine. The purpose of this center will be to promote and coordinate rural veterinary practice recruitment, advising, education, and postgraduate training. The anticipated annual cost is approximately $235,000. Board staff recommends approval of these items.
Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Is there any discussion?
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Trustee Lucky?
Aye.
Trustee Parker?
Aye.
Motion carries. This concludes the academic affairs agenda. Thank you, Dr. Presswood.
Trustee McNair, may I make a statement, please?
Yes, sir.
It's a great opportunity for us to see between Lauderdale County, the city of Meridian, and Mississippi State University, probably the best thing going on in any city in our state, the collaboration and the opportunities, because the city of Meridian has unbelievable opportunity to be downtown, to have these many students between the physician's assistance program, a nursing program. It is really revitalizing the community, but more importantly, it's educating the students in a great place that's really needful. So I just want to commend all the municipalities that are involved, especially Mississippi State University. It's been showing me the way, and I like seeing this kind of progress. So we compliment you.
Yes.
Thanks for those comments.
Trustee Duff, Mr. President, may I follow up on that comment just momentarily? I also want to echo what Trustee Duff said and how fortunate we are as a university in the growth that we're seeing in our downtown Meridian campus and our Riley campus. But it wouldn't be possible without the community support, and that being the Riley Foundation. And we are truly blessed that this foundation has stood up and has been supportive of our university for many years, not just this current commitment that they've made, but over the many years that have helped to transform downtown Meridian, our campus, and create educational opportunities that are so meaningful for our state. So I'm deeply thankful to the Riley Foundation to help make this possible. And I'm thankful to you as a board for supporting our initiative in this regard. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thanks for those comments, sir.
Mr. President, I just want to thank Bruce for his hard work. I got a significant other child down there and she's really having a good time. It is super nice. So y'all doing a good job, Mark.
Thank you, trustee. Next on the agenda is the election. The floor is open for nomination for Vice President of the Board for the terms starting May the 8th, 2024.
I nominate trustee Jeannie Lucky.
A second. Trustee Lucky has been nominated. Are there any other nominations? None other nominations closed. Is there a motion for approval of trustee Lucky as the vice president?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Trustee Lucky.
Thank y'all. I apologize for not being there, but I do appreciate your confidence, and I'll just try to follow Bruce. Bruce, I'll put his shoes on. I'm sure they're big. Thank you, Bruce.
Not so sure about that.
Thank you. Trustee Parker. Congratulations, trustee Lucky. Dr. Pierce, will you present item number 2?
Item number 2 on the administration agenda is a request from Delta State University. Delta State is proposing a retirement incentive program that will allow a window this spring for retirement eligible faculty and staff to receive a cash benefit of 25% of their current salary payable over 5 years if the employee agrees to retire on June 30, 2024. Delta State estimates that salaries of up to $2.9 million are eligible to enroll in the program, and the estimated use of cash for full participation in the first year is $145,000. And over the 5-year period, the full participation cost would be $725,000. We've looked at the cash on hand and determined that the university has the cash to cover these payouts. Legal staff has reviewed the item for compliance with applicable law and finds it to be acceptable, and board staff recommends approval.
Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Trustee Lucky. Trustee Parker.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Is there administrative report, Commissioner?
Are there any questions on items on the information agenda from any trustees? If none, thank you, President McNair.
Are there any other additional agenda items we need to consider?
President McNair, I don't have another agenda item, but I would like to make one brief statement. I appreciate all the good work that our universities do when they send us contract information. I know lately we've been getting a number of them late. And that's difficult for all of us to have time to review. Sometimes emergencies happen, and I get that. And that happened, for example, this past week. But to the extent that we can do those on a timely basis and follow our protocols, that helps all of us on the board. But thank you for your good work in preparing your contracts.
Thank you. Is there any other business to be considered at this time? Our next board meeting is March the 21st. I guess we need to hear it from the IEOs. We've been putting you off, putting you off. Now it's time to put you on. President Cook, interim president.
Good morning, Chairman, other trustees and commissioner, board staff, colleagues, visitors. Want to take this opportunity to thank you for allowing me to share some good news on behalf of Alcorn State University. We continue to be ranked amongst the best universities in the region, nation by U.S. News and World Report. The university has landed at number 6 spot for the best value school and number 22nd for the top public school, both on the regional university in the South. Additionally, Alcorn is ranked amongst the 30 HBCUs and universities, HBCUs coming in at 29th spot. Other U.S. News and World Report rank us as number 34 top performing social mobility and number 54 overall ranked regional university in the South. This has jumped us up to 24 spots social mobility category due to the work graduating first generation low-income students who receive Pell Grants. We have been named Fulbright Historical Black College and University Institutional Leader for the 2023. This is our second consecutive year. From the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences, Alcorn has been awarded $1.5 million grant from the United States Department of Agriculture to foster a diverse agricultural workforce. As part of the collaboration grant with Tennessee State University, this grant will be used to cultivate the next generation of diverse food and agriculture professional program. Wells Fargo and Alcorn School of Business has partnered to establish a financial educational classroom to make a positive difference in the lives of students, faculty, and the community. This partnership offers a variety of advantages, including improving graduation financial skills, the promotion of cooperative social responsibility, and the overall benefit to a broader community. We had a ribbon cutting ceremony January the 25th, 2024 on the Longman campus at the Rudolph Waters Technology Building. We also partnered with the Mississippi Food Network to host its mobile pantry program on the Longman campus of Alcorn. The mobile pantry will provide food for 300 households each month through November 2024. We recently received over $1 million for the Supplementary Nutrition Assistant Program education, SNAP, by the Mississippi Department of Human Services and Food Nutrition Services. This partnership between MDHS and Alcorn is critical in addressing nutrition and overall health outcomes in Adams, Claiborne, and Jefferson counties. Leveraging the Alcorn location, this partnership prepared a step towards addressing historical nutrition challenges by limiting access to healthy foods options in rural settings. The Council of Accreditation of Educator Preparation, CAP, announced 21 providers from 15 states receiving recognition for their leadership and commitment to continuing improvement. Alcorn is the only HBCU in Mississippi recognized for this year's honors. The recipient of the 2023 Frank Murray Leadership Recognition for continuing improvement provided evidence and data trend to achieve accreditation with no stipulation or areas of improvement. A powerhouse in Mississippi, longest serving female legislator, alumnus, former Representative Alice Griffin Clark, was honored on October 28, 2023, and at the ASU Purple and Gold Day at the Capitol, February the 13th, 2024. She is the first Black person, first woman to have a portrait on display in the state capitol, which is located in the room where the House Education Committee meets. The White House initiative on advancing education, equity, excellence, and economic opportunity through historical Black colleges and university announced Alcorn student Ronnie Davis of Collins, Mississippi, in his 9th cohort of HBCU scholars, recognizing 102 undergraduate, graduate, and professional students from 29 states and countries for their accomplishments in academic leadership, civic engagement, and much more. Alcorn student Kyra Maurice, she won the title Miss Black Mississippi USA in its inaugural year. The pageant was held on the campus of University of Southern Mississippi. the biology health science major from Gulfport, Mississippi. She will move on to compete at the National Miss Black USA title in August 2024, Washington, D.C. We recognize 5 students from Alcorn were selected and sworn in as part of the 2023 USDA 1890 National Scholar Program. The students are Samuel Brown, Emmanuel Clark, Jaden Johnson, Dwight Stevenson, Cardina Tulip. USDA partnered with 1890 College and University to provide scholarship recipients with full tuition, fees, book, room, and board. The scholarship also includes work experience at USDA through summer internships. This is an important pathway to securing our pipeline of the nation's next agricultural leaders. Dr. Geesh Panica, Director of USDA Conservation Research Program and a tenured professor, is recipient of the 2023 International Conservation Research Award for Soil and Water Conservation Society. Panica achievement has earned him international recognition for his decade-long dedication to the conservation research field in the United States. Dr. Babu Palota, Dean of College of Arts and Sciences and professor, has been elected president of Mississippi Academic of Sciences. His tenure term started July 2023, and he's the first representative for Alcorn State University to lead this organization. Elise Spakes, who is Director of Social Disadvantaged Farmers and Ranchers Policy Research Center. She served as a panelist for ownership and investment in U.S. farmland. The panelists address challenges and opportunities surrounding agricultural land ownerships in the U.S. Topics include historical issues, which agricultural land ownership, trends in farmers' demographic change, competition for land between farmers, ranchers, real estate, and emergency development interests. We recognize 2 alumnus, John White, a 1985 graduate who was honored with the highest honor offered by his fraternity, Phi Beta Sigma, at their national convention. Ladarian Holloway, a 2018 graduate, was promoted to Master Sergeant in United States Air Force. He's a native of Jackson, Mississippi. Lastly, we celebrated ASU Purple and Gold Day at the Capitol, February 13, 2024. We was recognized on both floors. We had over 150 alumnus in attendance. Once again, I want to thank you for allowing me to share some good news on behalf of my beloved Alcorn State University.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Good morning, Commissioners. It's good to be here representing Delta State University.
Thank you,
we have
Dr. Ennis.
Yes, sir.
You have the floor.
Yes, sir. All right. We have a number of items we'd love to share with you. First, we're pleased to report that we had an enrollment increase in the fall, and we continued that pattern from fall to spring. And as many of you all know, one of the key factors in retention is that fall to spring number. So I want to compliment my staff for keeping those students on campus and moving them toward their degrees. Secondly, Delta State has really been able to collaborate with our region in developing more opportunities for heritage tourism. As you all know, the Delta is heavily dependent on an agriculture, and that will continue to be a major part of our local and regional economy. However, diversification of that economic base is extraordinarily important for the future of the Delta. To that end, Delta State has been a partner with our local Chamber of Commerce, with the Mississippi Delta National Heritage Area, and the National Park Service. We have both helped host the Heritage Tourism Summit down in Indianola, along with the B.B. King Museum. And in that meeting, we met with local and regional cultural and heritage organizations about how to promote Delta tourism. And what we're trying to do is build on some of the momentum that we've seen in the past couple of years to attract more visitors to the Delta, to come in and see our region, to eat, stay, play in that region, to appreciate the extraordinary history, culture, music, and wonderful stories of our people in our region. Because of that, we've also been able to send delegations out to tourist organizations outside of the United States. I'll tell you, I didn't know this, but there is a major blues conference in Brazil. You learn a lot when you become a college president, but the blues are big down in Rio. We noticed that blues tourism in particular attracts international tourists at a rather large rate. International tourists tend to have more disposable income. So we're very excited that Delta State is part of a regional conversation about promoting the Delta as a tourist area in Mississippi, and will continue to be part of those conversations. Thirdly, we're very pleased to announce that we've received a federal grant to help on the collaboration for rural STEM educators. Through this grant, we will educate rural STEM K through 12 teachers on how to introduce STEM concepts into their classrooms earlier. One of the challenges we face is that we know that STEM education unlocks access to technical, engineering, and professional skills that really lead to high paying and stable employment. But STEM education at K through 12 is research intensive, equipment intensive, and requires specialized training. So Delta State's ability to provide that training through this federal grant is very welcome. We're very excited about that. And as a regional university, we're very pleased that this grant will not stay on campus, but actually most of the benefit of these federal dollars will go out into our regional school systems to help train K through 12 teachers in STEM concepts and provide them with some materials to introduce these concepts to their students. Thirdly, we're very pleased to announce that we have, my screen went blank here. Give me a second to bring it back up. Got three things going on here. That we have selected Benjamin Lobred to be the Congressional Fellowship. The Delta Research Foundation Congressional Fellow is selected every year. It's sponsored by the Delta Council and other organizations, and that provides a Delta State University student an opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. and work with the congressional delegation from Mississippi to see how constituent service legislation is developed and develop their knowledge of policy concerns. So we're so happy to send Benjamin up to D.C. to represent Delta State. He's from Vicksburg. One more student highlight, Haley Rooks, if you'll stand, please. Haley is the extraordinary, hardworking president of Delta State Student Government Organization. I also wanted to acknowledge that she has been accepted at the University of Mississippi Medical Center in the medical school. So, Dr. Woodward, we're sending you a great one. Thank you for your attention to Delta State.
Thank you, Dr. Ennis. Dr. Thompson, Jackson State University.
Thank you, Mr. President. And we at Jackson State continue to advance our mission of producing global leaders and providing experiential learning opportunities to help them succeed. And I'm happy to report that Jackson State has successfully received reaffirmation of accreditation for its music programs from the National Association of Schools of Music. And this significant achievement underscores our commitment to maintaining the highest standards of musical education and excellence. And further punctuating the excellence of our music program, our Sonic Boom of the South Marching Band, the best band in the land, made a surprise appearance with 8-time Grammy-winning artist Usher during the Apple Music Super Bowl 58 halftime show in Las Vegas, Nevada. I want to say we're so proud of our students, and they displayed exceptional professional and showmanship in what I'm sure was a very surreal but wonderful experience. And I'm extremely proud of the precision and musicality of our students brought to one of the most watched events on television. And our students hail from various parts of the country. And many people don't know this, but they're studying a variety of majors, including biology, political science, and communications. And you can appreciate the level of hard work and perseverance that went into this show. And the band's appearance at the bowl started with a conversation between JSU alum Cortez Bryant and his friend Jesse Collins, who is the executive producer of the halftime show. And this shows the significance of the connections established at Jackson State and how our alums reach back, give back, but also help move us forward. And our students are very deserving of these memorable learning opportunities, and they have also been invited to participate in the 136th Rose Parade, sponsored by Honda in Pasadena, California on January 1st, 2025. And in recognizing the significance of this venture, JSU has launched the Road to Roses fundraising campaign that you're all welcome to contribute to. Calling on the generosity of supporters, friends, fans, and alumni to help the Boom seize the monumental moment and perform yet on another national stage. With the fundraising goal of $850,000, we're committed to ensuring students experience this cherished opportunity. And one thing I would like to point out about this experience our band students had was the grueling task. It was quite a grueling task for them. The students had daily practice for 8 to 9 hours over 10 days. They kept up with their homework and all of their other assignments while in Las Vegas. And I know most of us adults probably wouldn't do that. And were described by everybody involved as young people of great character, hardworking, polite, grateful for the opportunity, and excellent musicians. And I love this about them. Those students are able to keep a secret too. And I can't say that about most others. But in addition, the routine changed multiple times daily. But our students didn't miss a beat and were prepared because of the excellent training of our director of bands, Dr. Roderick Little. I'm grateful to him for his leadership, as well as Dr. Lisa Beckley Roberts, the chair of the music department, and the dean of the College of Liberal Arts, Dr. Rico Chapman, and our provost, Dr. Mosley, as well, for their support of our students. So our band students demonstrated the tremendous value of attaining a degree from Jackson State University and how it helps students accomplish their dreams and be who they are meant to be. So thank you for your continued support of faculty, staff, and students and programming, and I look forward to what we will continue to accomplish at Jackson State as we strive to elevate and uplift Mississippi's only urban research institution. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Thompson. Sonic boom of the South. Huh? Dr. Keenum.
Thank you, Mr. President. We're off and going at Mississippi State. We've had a great start to our spring semester. We've got all-time record enrollment for this spring, and I'm excited about that. But it was a little bit of a rocky start. As many of you know, back in the mid-January, we had a bit of cold, wet, snowy, icy weather that came through our state, and it impacted us a bit. Our classes began on January the 16th, and so we had to go virtual for that day, and then the next day on the 17th. But on the 15th, which was Martin Luther King Jr. Day, on this day of recognizing diversity and civil rights, what a great leader he was for our nation. And we had our 30th annual tribute to Dr. Martin Luther King on our campus at our MSU Mill. And in spite of the cold weather, and it was a wonderful turnout, overflow capacity crowd, and we were excited. Camille Scale Young was our keynote speaker, and she did a marvelous job. So I was just proud that we got our semester started off in a really good fashion. And speaking of diversity, we were very pleased that recently Mississippi State University was recognized as recipient of the Higher Education Excellence in Diversity Award. This is a very high prestigious award, national award. This is the 4th time we've been recognized for this. And so it illustrates, again, our focus of providing our students with access to exceptional academic programs, hands-on research experiences across a wide range of students and diverse students. So I was very pleased with the focus of our faculty and our scientists and researchers for being recognized. On student news, I want to announce that a young lady named Madison Brody. She's an outstanding young lady, scholar on our campus. She was named our very first Marshall Scholar recipient. It's a highly competitive Marshall Scholars are awarded to a select few American students each year. And she is our very first recipient. She is a senior biological science major, and she's just an outstanding young lady. Okay, she just received the recognition of this prestigious Marshall Scholar. She'll be going to Oxford, England for her getting her master's degree there with the scholarship. But in 2023, she was named a National Astronaut Scholar. And in 2022, she was named a Goldwater Scholar, which is the highest recognition you can receive in the STEM field. She's a gifted, talented young lady. We're very proud of her, and we're wishing her all the very best. And it just shows a commitment that we're making on our campus for our young people who are so bright and talented through our Shackles Honors College. And I'm very proud of our faculty and staff and what they're doing there. Speaking of scholars, we were very pleased that just recently we received a gift, a $4 million gift from the Lucky Day Foundation. Those funds will be used to support the construction of our new residence hall, which is underway right now. We've named the building Azalea Hall. That'll be its name until we get another big gift, and we'll name it to some other name. But the Lucky Day gift, and that residence hall will be completed by August of 2025. That gift will allow us to have a Lucky Day Tower within the new residence hall, and it will be the home for our incoming freshman Lucky Day scholars. This next fall school year, we'll be welcoming 75 new Lucky Day scholars. And we're excited about, again, the partnership we have with Lucky Day. And that number will grow another 5 scholars for the following year in 2025. And that'll put us at a full complement of 320 Lucky Day scholars when we're fully funded. So Lucky Day has made a tremendous investment in us, and we're thrilled with the partnership that we have with them. I also want to just briefly tell you that we're excited about the National Science Foundation's latest report that came out, Higher Education Research and Development Survey. And Mississippi State University is once again a top 100 research university, and I'm very proud of that. The work that our faculty, our scientists, our researchers are doing is just tremendously remarkable in so many cutting edge fields of science and technology and what we're engaged in. Of course, agriculture sciences, over $100 million in that area alone. But our number came in at over $300 million in what we're generating at Mississippi State. We just submitted our numbers for this coming year, and so that number has gone from $303 million to $320 million, again, that our faculty and scientists are generating at Mississippi State. That's tremendous in what we're able to do. And I'm very, very proud of our research centers and again, our research faculty and their contributions to their fields of study, but also to the state of Mississippi. In conclusion, I just want to give you a quick update that I'm proud of our student athletes. They're excelling. Those who are wearing maroon and white in their uniforms in all of our sports are doing great on the field, on the court, but they're also doing great in the classroom. Our grade point average for our student athletes this past year was an all-time record. The average was a 3.24. For them to excel and like they are across all of our sports and all the demands that are put upon them, and to be able to excel and do so well in the classroom, I'm very, very proud of them. And of course, springtime is a very active time for us athletically. Our men and women's basketball teams are well on midway through their conference play and are doing quite well. I'm very proud of their achievements. Our men and women's tennis teams are underway, and our softball team just got underway, and we're undefeated so far in softball. I'm very proud of what they're doing. And of course, baseball. Baseball's kind of big at Mississippi State. We're excited about the start of our baseball season, which will begin tomorrow. We'll be hosting a three-game series with the United States Air Force Academy. And so we're hoping for decent weather to get us through these first 3 games. And also, while we're having our baseball starting, we're hosting a home men's basketball game on Saturday afternoon with the University of Arkansas. And also this weekend, we're hosting our Black Alumni Weekend, which is a wonderful opportunity for our alumni to come to campus. And we have a host of activities, which will actually start today. But tomorrow, a lot of activities tomorrow, all day on Saturday, and a wonderful gospel event on Sunday. So again, a lot of activity on our campus. Our semester, again, is off to a great start, and a lot of wonderful things are happening at Mississippi State. So thank you, Mr. President, for allowing me to give you a report.
Thank you, President Keenum. President Miller.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about things going on at the W.
Tuesday afternoon, I announced to a crowd gathered on Shattuck Lawn the university's decision to codify into state law our intention to remain the W while declaring the university's new formal name to be Winbridge State University of Mississippi. This creatively pairs win, the Old English word for W, and uses it as a bridge that connects our past, our present, and our future W graduates. Our alumnus representative Donnie Scoggins has introduced House Bill 1155 to codify that we will continue to be known as the W with this formal new name, and we are actively seeking support of House Bill 1155. The Vandergrift College of Nursing and Health Sciences continues to ring in the new year with accolades. The registered nurse program was ranked #1 in the state by registerednursing.org, an online resource for finding nursing education and employment resources. The ranking is based on NCLEX RN scores, the national licensing exam. Graduates of the W's program must pass the exam to become registered nurses. The W had the highest cumulative pass rate in the state with a score of 99.36, maintaining first place in the state for another year. Dr. Julia Mordiakova is one of the recipients of International Alliance for Women in Music's Programming Award. Mordiakova, professor and chair of the music department, is one of 2 recipients of the award for 2023. David Carter, chair of the theater department, was recently honored by the Mississippi Theater Association for his years of dedicated service to the field. Carter received the Outstanding Contributions to Theater Award, which is presented to one Mississippi college or university theater faculty member each year. Carter has taught theater for more than 22 years at the W. Sophomore Jordan Whitfield from Sulligent, Alabama, earned the St. Louis Intercollegiate Athletic Conference Men's Track Athlete of the Week. It was announced by the league office. Whitfield had a tremendous meet at the Samford University Bulldog Open last Saturday. He had part in 4 of the 6 school records established on the men's side. In the 60-meter dash, Whitfield ran a time of 7.26 seconds, just undercutting the previous MUW mark of 7.28 set by teammate Dedrick Gates. Thank you for letting me talk about the W.
Thank you, President Keenum. President Miller. President Briggs.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. President, members of the board. Thank you for the opportunity for me to share a few good news items happening at Mississippi Valley State University, where of course we continue to move that 8-word vision of one goal, one team, one valley in motion. And in fact, I'm actually moving forward to change my name to President Motion. But I want to begin by really just thanking you all again for all that you all continue to do in supporting Mississippi Valley State University. And when we talk about really the great things happening, we all recognize this past fall we had a significant enrollment increase of 16.9%. But what I recently found out is that that was one of the highest percentages amongst all HBCUs across the nation. So that was really something that we're very proud of, but we also know we have to continue to move forward. And actually, this spring's enrollment will also be in double digits, over 10% compared to last spring. So we're going to continue to push and build on our strategic enrollment efforts to assure the university remains healthy and viable. Also in December, we went through the final stages of our reaffirmation of our accreditation with SAC-COC. And we passed this with no recommendations or findings. But additionally, we earned approval for our prison education partnership program, and we were one of only a handful of institutions to earn that approval this past year. So we're very appreciative and proud of that accomplishment as well. And during this year's Super Bowl, actually, MVSU alum and Hall of Famer Jerry Rice, he delivered the Vince Lombardi Trophy for the game. But one of our very own students, graduating senior Chanel Houston, got to accompany him. She's our FedEx HBCU student ambassador, and we know we have that strong relationship with FedEx. And FedEx actually covered all the expenses for Chanel to attend the game and present the trophy with Jerry Rice. And during that presentation, her and Jerry had an opportunity to do a podcast where they discussed the value of attending Mississippi Valley State University and the positive impact it's had on their journey. Also, our university band, the Mean Green Marching Machine, they're also doing some outstanding things for themselves and really bringing a lot of light and attention to the university. They just returned yesterday from New Orleans, where they participated in several of the parades during the Mardi Gras season. And they were actually selected as the lead band for the Mardi Gras parade on Mardi Gras Day, the Zulu parade. But they also had an opportunity to perform at one of the Memphis Grizzlies games 2 weeks ago in celebrating HBCUs in Black History Month. So we're very proud of the Mean Green Marching Machine. Again, they are outstanding Valley scholars, and they're really doing great things to support the university and our growth. When we also talk about significant partnerships, the university recently partnered with a company out of Atlanta, Georgia, SWA Connect, to offer the Federal Affordable Connectivity Program for our students. And I'm happy to report that over 700 of our students qualified, and they will be receiving a free tablet and no-cost internet connectivity for the next 5 years. So we talk about the growth and building those partnerships. We understand it's through this connection that really matters. And finally, I think we know that the university's motto is live for service, understanding the importance of community participation and community growth. And recently, our Department of Engineering Technology attended a ribbon cutting for a Shelter College product that came to fruition. The project, this product was a partnership with Barbara Benson and the Hope Grenada Soup Kitchen. The house was built by NVSU students from the Engineering Technology Department in collaboration with Mississippi Delta Community College and Holmes Community College, and the shelter will be used as a transitional home for the women's shelter and was built in thanks for all contributions from our students and our department. So again, we understand the importance of community engagement, community involvement, and we know our university wouldn't be what it is today if it wasn't for all that support. So again, thank you all for everything that you do for Mississippi Valley State University is truly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Briggs. Dr. Boyce.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to begin by thanking the board for approving our bonds. We appreciate that deeply. It's at a very critical time in our history, and your support means an awful lot to us. As far as enrollment goes, our freshman class in particular has grown 72% since 2020. And next year, it's going to be by far the largest class the state of Mississippi's ever seen. So in turn, with all this going on, your support was critical and crucial, and we appreciate that deeply. The second thing I'd like to make a point of is that our M-Partner program, which is a fantastic program, is a community engagement program. An M-Partner where we work and go into communities to try to make sustainable difference in the lives of the citizens there. And we've been into Charleston and Lexington, New Albany, Ecru, Pontotoc, and do an amazing job. And we're finally arriving at Oxford. And you would think that we might have started there, but we're headed to Oxford, and we've got 3 initiatives, and we're excited about these initiatives. First off is food insecurity and food, making sure that, there's no reason why in the community of Oxford, with the wealth there is in Oxford and with this university present, so on, that anybody should ever have a need for food and have a need to eat and their children. So that's the first thing that we're going to focus on. We're excited about that. The second thing we're going to be focusing on is partnering with our Spanish-speaking neighbors as they enter Oxford, because there's an awful lot of more of Latino and Hispanic individuals moving into the region. And we want to make sure that they feel comfortable, and we want to make sure that we can help them as they embark on careers and futures. And the third thing that is very, very important to us is the transit system. And the transit system is going to become more and more important, like it or not. Trying to find parking on these college and university campuses is incredibly difficult. And as Dr. Wilkin explained to me one day, and it was about one of the smartest things that I'd heard in a long time, was we can build a whole bunch of $50 million parking garages, or we can change behavior inside the transit system. Makes a lot of sense to save that $50 million for a lot more important things dealing with education. Okay. So anyways, we're going to be at that work, and you'll hear some complaints from time to time about that. I'll caution you now, but nonetheless, it's going to have to take place. Okay. We're excited about all this growth, and we're excited about what's happening in the trajectory of our university. There's two programs I want to focus on quickly for our students. And these are the kinds of programs that I'm proud that are on our campus and coming to our campus because our students have this kind of capacity and capabilities. The first one is the Nuclear Leadership Program. Our students can now contribute to improvements in nuclear energy through the United States Department of Energy's University Nuclear Leadership Program. Through this program, we've joined a select group of universities nationally that can receive funding for the next 10 years in order to do student research goals. One of the things we've been stressing at our university is undergraduate research. We want our students to start earlier and get involved and understand what research means and how they can change the world through research. This allows them to get into some very in-depth, sophisticated, complicated research as undergrads, and then as graduate students, they can work in the field with fellowships. Excited about that. The second area is pharmacy. Our pharmacy students will have access to a new state-of-the-art automation technology thanks to a partnership with Becton Dickinson. And it's the world's largest, one of the world's largest medical technology companies. And they're going to put a brand new cloud-based software and supporting lab into our pharmacy schools so our students can become involved with their work in automation and pharmacy. Ultimately, we hope through the future that as we work through a lot of sophisticated automation of pharmacy, that we can actually reduce pharmaceuticals at some point in our history. So we're excited about that and what that means for our students and the opportunity to participate in these areas. And I want to say one more thing before I finish up. Couple things, but I want to talk about my faculty for 1 second. But I also want to say how proud we are of Patrick Willis and entering the Hall of Fame. What an honor for Patrick. And if anybody knows where Patrick came from and the type of leadership that he's offered throughout his entire life, nobody could be more deserving than Patrick. And it isn't just on the field. Please know that and understand that. And anybody who might have heard or was there and witnessed his graduation speech that day, his commencement speech for us, man, you couldn't find a dry with face in the audience or on the stage. It was amazing. He's an amazing young man, and we're very, very proud of Patrick. And I've got a personal story real quick that I want to share because it pretty much says everything about Patrick. I just had our first grandchild, and Patrick was on campus and everything, and we were celebrating doing all these things and everything. And I just mentioned to Patrick, hey, I'm excited and first grandchild and so on. Well, that night we had a dinner for Patrick, and we had it up in the suite in the football stadium. It was very nice and everything. And well, lo and behold, here comes Patrick with one of those small kitty helmets, okay? Almost helmet with all of this signature and Patrick and, talking about two wheeler, okay? Now, how many young men, okay, and that's my point perhaps as much as anything, would think to do that? That said all anybody needs to know about Patrick Willis. And I'd like to close by saying this, that I think is very important. I've got some professors who have done amazing things, as we all do across this table. David Colby, professor of medicinal chemistry, research professor, is working incredibly hard and has joined the competitive idea group in order to help our researchers commercialize their products. We have a desperate need to be able to commercialize our products so we can further the state and perhaps bring new pharmaceutical institutions into the state and further the business. And he's going to be committed to that effort and now is going to have additional resources with NIH funding to do that. The second person I'd like to mention is Michelle Hanlon, who's a law professor. Michelle testified in December up in Washington in front of a committee. And this gets kind of interesting on natural resources and mining and space. She heads up our Space and Law Center. And I think you'd be amazed at the opportunities and the economic opportunities, by the way, in space these days. And I would assume that President Keenum is probably well aware of all that's going on with that, with all they have going. So it's pretty amazing, even hauling satellites that no longer exist out into the areas of space and what you do with them. It's incredible what's going on. We hope that in some way that'll help our state as well as people enter into that arena. And as we as a nation understand that mining in space will be important for the future. David Rutherford is Associate Professor of Public Policy, and he was honored by the National Council for Geographic Education as one of the top professors in his field. And I could go on and on as everybody here could. The reason I bring this up is very, very important. At this stage and with this time in our history, I think it's as important as ever. And we talk about it every year, but this year I think it carries additional weight. We have this collective storm coming that we're all aware of, and I won't go into all that. We all understand enrollment cliffs. We all understand that our high school graduates are dropping pretty significantly across the state. We all understand we have less students partaking in higher education, and we all understand that higher education is under attack in some ways as to whether it's got value and worth in our nation, which is, to me, a silly argument and a silly discussion. Okay, but I want to say this to you. We were at the legislature yesterday, and the commissioner was doing what he has to do, and it's a pretty hot seat over there for him. I can assure you that. And I asked him if he was feeling better today, and he said, yeah, I'm definitely better today. And I get it, and I remember, because I was in that seat several years. And he did everything he could and did a wonderful job representing all of us, and we all spoke when we had opportunities. But I want to say something to you. Our faculties, ladies and gentlemen, our faculties went through a global pandemic that nobody wants to talk about anymore, and I don't either. And nobody wants to remember, and nobody wants to really understand or remiss the memories of it all. But our faculty took our universities, and it was faculty. Yeah, we administrators and you did a wonderful job, but our faculties were the heartbeat and pulled off a miracle during that time. I mean, a miracle. In a week and a half, 2 weeks, they turned all of our universities into online institutions. And by the way, just so you know, we weren't a great online system. And so in turn, most of those faculty members didn't know how to teach online. It wasn't like the community college system where most of them knew and most of them had taught online in many ways. Ours had to learn immediately on the run. And they delivered curriculum, and they kept our students moving forward, which was what all of our goals was to move forward. And when that class walked through last year and they graduated on time, that was more of a miracle than anybody will ever know. And then in the fall, you let us open back up, and we opened back up when most of the nation said we were crazy. And we opened back up, and our faculty taught every place. They taught in Vaught Hemingway Stadium. They didn't have technology. They didn't have a lot of things that they were accustomed and used to, but they did it. They taught in mass. Students learned in mass. We did all those things that all of you know. Okay? If there's ever a group in the United States of America that deserves our applause, deserves our thanks and appreciation, and one of the ways that we can most significantly show that appreciation, and I tell my faculty this all the time, is to give them greater resources to take home with them so that their lives can be better when they go home because of all they give. It has been an amazing 4-year run on the part of our faculties at our universities. And there is at a time when we need the support of our legislature like never before to say thanks for all that was done. And I include in that statement staffs as well. So my closing comment is it probably will take all of us, everybody in this room, to work incredibly hard this session to convince our legislators of the importance and the work that's done by faculty. Because I've never known a moment during this period of time, which was so difficult and so challenging, the faculty and staff didn't rise to the occasion every single time. Ladies and gentlemen, that should be rewarded. So sorry to lecture today, but mostly that's how I feel deeply. And I think this session matters deeply. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Boyce, for your Your words, so important. Right, President Paul.
Well, those that are last shall be first, right? You know, I was thinking if we changed our name to Awesome University of Southern Mississippi, I might get down the list. And then it occurred to me that as the W's change, I'm going to at least move up one way alphabetically this way. Nor, so we'll have to check this chair out. As President Keenum said, we opened college baseball this weekend, or as we call it in Baseburg, the most wonderful time of the year. So I hope the trustees y'all will come visit us at the Pete and enjoy a game with us as we get that started. I'm really excited to let you know that I recently was honored to go to Washington, D.C. and sign a MOU between Southern Miss and the Federal National Guard Command to become the repository of all National Guard archive materials and oral histories for all 54 National Guards across the country. And so with that, our Center for the Study of the U.S. National Guard is off and running. It was a grand occasion. Happy also to announce that Southern Miss, in partnership with Jackson State and the University of Arizona, has been awarded a $6 million cooperative agreement with the National Science Foundation Directorate of Technology, Innovation, and Partnerships, TIP, through the inaugural Accelerating Research Translation Program. In support of this program, we'll be using systematic, data-driven approaches to establish a more innovative research culture at Southern Miss. And this change will foster greater translational research activities, taking basic research to innovation, to products, to economic development, and just improve the ecosystem for economic development and entrepreneurship throughout the state of Mississippi. Also excited that we received in December a $6 million endowment from the Asbury Foundation that will fuel the recruitment, retention, and development of nursing faculty. You know, that's a critical part of what we're doing, and it's hard to get and keep great faculty, and that'll give us an extra way to do just that very thing. Last week, I attended the School of Polymer Science and Engineering's 51st annual Waterborne Convention in New Orleans. That draws a global audience. It's the premier event in the coatings industry and serves as a platform for knowledge exchange and employee training and networking. Also, as you've heard across the board, we are preparing for a very large freshman class in the fall. Our housing applications indicate that we'll be full with a waiting list, and so we are making plans to house everybody that wants to come. The Lucas Administration Building might be a nice freshman hall, but we're going to get that done, and we're excited about that for the fall. And finally, my friend Jonathan Jenkins here has been accepted as an intern in DC this summer for Senator Roger Wicker as he completes his economic development degree. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I have one thing that I neglected to say earlier, and that's for those of you that read through our materials, you realize we had significant payment to law firms. I'm never opposed to paying law firms because my firm appreciates it when they get paid, although we do no work with IHL. We're not, for good reason, state law. I wanted to explain those dealt with the medical center, and that's because we put in a new program there that helps us audit, review bills, make sure everything is in line. You just need to update programs periodically. It was just time to do it. There was nothing wrong with our system. Nothing was broken. We were just getting ahead of things and doing the right thing. But as a result, you had several months of bills. So when you see checks of that size being cut, that's not going to happen again because we'll be in the regular program. So I really appreciate both the medical center and stepping up and helping us get the right program involved, and also our law firm partners who delayed receiving payment but are now approved for payment. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to remind everyone that our own Dr. Dan Ennis will have his inauguration next Saturday, 24th, in Bologna Performing Arts Center there in Delta State in Cleveland, Mississippi. So we'd like everybody to attend and support Dr. Ennis. Any other issues? Is there a motion to determine the need for executive session?
So second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye? Okay. Miss, let's see, I think, Miss Lucky, trustee Lucky? Okay, good. Motion passes. Anyone not need for executive session is free to leave at this time, and thank you all very much. If any trust is not a trustee, you can work in the waiting room. Trustees, please give us a moment to make sure the right people online. Thank you all. Appreciate everybody.